guys, what's up? My name is Kayla. Welcome back to another episode of In the Bad podcast.
I'm Kenny Hawkins.
And so this episode is 17, and we're going to be talking about health, mental health. Really, I think is the main focus we're going to be talking about, but also how physical health can help with your mental health, and et cetera, et cetera. But just to start off with, we're going to do our usual and talk about what we've been doing this past week. If you want to start.
Short little recap. Mm-hmm. You said if I want to start?
Yeah,
totally. This past week has been like super big for me because, like, as you know, as the people listening and watching probably know too, it's like I'm doing a lot and I'm running my own businesses and they're getting bigger. Basically, I'm working to throw an event over the summer, mid-July, and it's going to be a panel speaking about mental health, and it's going to be a big deal. I'm working with some really great people, really important people, and we're looking to really shock the world. So it's like that's going on. School is going okay.
I thought school's going great.
Nah, it's alright. At work, I don't know if I should be talking about this, but I got to talk to one of my managers and someone else at my job who is my superior, and basically they're talking to me about maybe taking on one of their positions and basically getting a higher position in my job. So I don't know if that's like set in stone. I don't know I'm just kind of like, that's up in the air. I'm like,
fingers.
I'm just waiting on that one. You know what I mean? So I'll keep everybody updated for that too. What about you? What have you been doing?
In this past week, I have been, what have I been doing? I've just been trying
Hustling.
to figure, I've been trying to figure out, I think I talked about this in the last episode, but I'm not sure, but I'm starting a book club. So right now, like, I'm just trying to, I got everybody's emails, so just sending out emails right now, like just basically figuring out what I want to say in the emails, figuring out what books I want to do.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to be talking to a friend of mine to basically like start a website in order to brand the book club. So
what would be on my website?
So basically, I just had like a lot of people DM me after I posted about making a book club, saying how they want to be a part of it, but they don't live in Tampa. So how can I be a part of this? Like, be a part of it in general.
Book club, yeah.
And so I thought, especially because like looking at other people who have book clubs, like No Names Book Club that I just started following.
That's one of my favorites, bro.
Yeah, she like just having websites and like she has like events all over the country.
Yeah.
Like just having book clubs, and like people have book clubs under her like name if she's not even there. Like that's that's cool. So I think having a website where people can stay connected and we can still talk about books and everything like that. Just have more people involved, because I don't want to cut people off, especially if like it's an idea and people are like, hey, I want to be part of your idea. I don't want to shut people off because I think it's cool.
You never want to like limit yourself. I agree.
The fact that people even want to be a part of a book club, I didn't even think people still read like that.
You read a lot of books.
I do. I'm trying to read more, so that's another reason why too. I was like, well, if I'm trying to read more, and I also like talking to people, why not just start a book club?
Yeah.
So and it's like, why not? So that's the main thing right now. Also, I am hosting an event tomorrow, but once this podcast comes out, it's already gonna be over. But I'm hosting an event tomorrow at Jerk and Ebor. It's my third music show under Wave Theory.
Shout out to them.
Yes, they're letting me host another event, so I'm just kind of getting prepared for that. Just become like a better host. But other than that, I've just been the same old, hustling,
staying in your bag.
Yeah, trying to get my, everything perfected. I guess it kind of like a segue into like what we're talking about though, with health. Another thing is, I did hire a personal trainer about 2 weeks ago. Shout out Kareen. So she basically is in one of my classes actually. She's a certified personal trainer and nutritionist, and she was just casually talking about it one day, like, hey, I'm a personal trainer. And I was like, let me kind of like get into that. So I never really have been about working out. Like I'll do like, every now and again, but I never really was that serious about it. But because I guess it was because of how close proximity she was, it was kind of like, well, why not?
Let's be real, bro. It's like when I first met you, you would work out and it wasn't really like a workout. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't even sweat.
Yeah, I wouldn't sweat. I would go to the gym with my friend, and
you just chill.
Yeah, we would just low-key chill, and then we would probably stay for about 3 hours, and I would not sweat at all.
3 hours just chilling, first of all.
Yeah, we would just be
who
like
works out for 3
around.
hours? Who's not a D1 athlete?
I thought that was like a normal thing. I was like, are you not supposed to be in the gym for 3 hours? And then when we started going to the gym together, you're like, no, like an hour and a half max. Like, there's no reason to stay in the gym that long.
You're just gonna kill your muscles. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, so once I started working out with her, it's been about 2 weeks now. Let me tell you, I'm sore every damn day. That's one thing. But I will say, like, to people who are listening or watching who, don't work out but maybe want to work out, because it's definitely like a choice.
Yeah.
I will say, like, once you get past like the first week, it gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
And also when you're paying somebody, that's motivation right there.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely had to cancel on her a few times just for like multiple different reasons, but I try not to for the most part, because again, I'm paying her. So even if I wouldn't work out that day, I'm still paying her for the month, so might as well just go as much as I can. Not only that, but also like, if I want to get out what I want to get out from it, which like I have a certain body image I want, then I have to work out. And also, like, I just, I want to be stronger. I'm kind of weak, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to build my muscles and everything like that. But it's been a good time though. I've seen like my mental health get better, which is really good. And also like dieting and stuff too. Not dieting. But like
it's not nutrition.
Nutrition. I don't like dieting, but like just,
you're not really dieting. You just it's like changing the way that you ate,
exactly,
because it wasn't the best for your body and what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? It's not like a diet. It's more like you're just eating healthier.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of like physical, I guess, exercise or health, like why did you get into that? Because I know you were like really like lengthy in high school, and then you're like, oh, I want
lanky. Is that the word you just tried to say?
I said lengthy. I feel like I said that at home too.
Yeah, you always say that.
Yeah. Okay. Lanky, whatever. That word.
Yeah.
And then you kind of like built your whole stature to be a certain way.
So you're asking like, why did I start working out?
Yeah, like what was the switch up?
Well, I played sports for a very long time, and I was always competitive. So it's just like from a young age, probably like started doing sports when I was like 10 or something, like legit.
Yeah.
Maybe earlier than that, because I did soccer. But from a very young age, I did sports, and then I reached a point where I was 15. I was a sophomore in high school, and I made a decision. I was like, okay, I don't think I can really get anywhere far continuing with sports. I think this is as far as I could take it. You know what I mean? High school, community college, like level. You know what I mean? Like nothing crazy. So at 15, I was like, maybe I should put all my focus into being as good as I can at school. You know what I mean? And trying to map out my life from there, because I figured I had a higher potential. So it's like, you know me, bro. I'm very, very polarizing, I guess. It's either one extreme or the other. So it's like I was like, okay, if I'm not going to do sports, I'll never touch a basketball again, and I'll never step on a basketball court because I love it too much. So, which is absolutely ridiculous, I know. So I didn't touch a basketball or work out or play any sports for 15 months straight. And then I realized, I was like, oh, I feel like shit. You know what I mean? I'm lazy. Or like, I wasn't really lazy, but I just felt lethargic. You know what I mean? So going back,
you weren't like doing like your full potential.
Yeah, once I stopped, like I was so active for so long, and then I just stopped flat, and then I was like, I feel like something's missing. So, and then also that was that time period that we talk about when I wasn't as mentally healthy as I am now, and I was making some bad decisions. I had people around me who I probably shouldn't have been around. You know what I mean? I was in situations I shouldn't have put myself in. So when that switch happened, and I was like, oh, I want to get healthier mentally and physically. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel happy in my life, so I want to reach the steps to be happy. That's when I reintroduced workout regimen and routine in general. Just in general, having a routine and taking the steps to put my health in my own hands. That's when that happened. So probably when I was like late junior year, mostly senior year, I started working out again, and it made me feel good. I started feeling better about myself. I started feeling better about just like, it was good. It's a de-stressor. I just felt good. So that's why I started doing it and going hard. And then also, shout out to my friend Eli. Eli studied fitness, and he's always been like into bodybuilding and like working out. I was more into like competitive sports instead of like lifting and working out like that. But hanging out with Eli, he showed me like just the health benefits and like how you can be a more positive person if you take the time to work out a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I feel like people forget in terms of like physical.
Yeah.
Like working out or anything like that is if you go into it and you have a shitty mindset, you're not going to get very far.
Yeah.
That, and also I think people don't realize that it can help your mental health, but again, you have to go into it with a certain mentality of you do want to change and you do want to get better.
Yeah.
Because you can work out and like be super fit, super muscular, but you can still have a shitty mindset and still 100%, be a shitty person.
100%.
So it goes hand in hand. I feel like people forget that sometimes. So like, the same thing with me, like I was saying, where, you know, you kind of had like this break where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, and then you started again. Yeah. It's like you have to, it's literally a push for yourself. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard because sometimes it's not super easy for people to push themselves. But I realize, again, like having people, surrounding yourself with people that, you know, are genuine, surrounding yourself with people who motivate you. And not only that, but it's a good feeling when, like, I, you know, can motivate my friends. Like I can, you know, be doing this, or I can be talking about doing, you know, something else that I do for my professional career, and my friends feel motivated by what I'm doing, which makes them want to do their own adventures.
100%.
Like I have one friend who like talks about how, because I have a podcast, like she wants to start her YouTube channel back, and she's like, you know, I'm not in a like the right headspace right now, and I, you know, I've offered, you know, let's go here, let's go there, like just trying to help as any way I can, just because, again, I mean, if you're a good friend, I feel like that's what you want to do for your friends.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were just talking about this in the car because, R.I.P. by the way, to
the young legend, bro.
Yes.
R.I.P. to the young legend. Baby, welcome to the party.
Yes.
R.I.P.
What was it?
Pop Smoke is his name.
Okay, I didn't want to mispronounce it.
Don't disrespect the culture.
I didn't want to mispronounce it.
Don't do that.
Yes, okay. Pop Smoke.
I'm a thought. Get me lit.
I didn't even know that was his song until today. But we were just talking about that though. Like, you have to make sure when you're, you know, getting successful, whether that's mentally, physically, whatever it may be, that you have people around you who are genuine, because people get so jealous.
And you won't ever know.
And
I
can be slimy. Snakes.
Yes, 100%. And I agree. And to add off of what you just said, like when I'm reflecting on that business meeting I had earlier this morning, we were talking about that because I was meeting with someone who was born in Brooklyn, raised in Brooklyn in the Bronx, right? I'm from Chicago, and I grew up in Florida a lot too. But in general, I've seen a lot of grimy shit. And when you're in a neighborhood or you're in an environment, like that's why I always say we're all products of our environment. Because like when you're exposed to certain things from a very young age, you get indoctrinated into that crabs in a bucket mentality. You know what I mean? And then it's like we were talking about earlier, it's like they love to see you grind and get there, but they hate it when you're there. Because
you're not relatable anymore.
Exactly.
Because people like being relatable. So it's in any field, whether it's podcasting or YouTubing or whatever it may be. Like, people like seeing the grind, seeing the hustle. They'll be there for you when you're coming up, but as soon as you quote unquote make it, whatever that make is, now they're pissed because they're like, you're no longer relatable. We can't relate to you. Now you think you're the shit because you have X, Y, and Z. But it's like, but I thought y'all wanted me to get here. Yeah. So what's up?
100%.
And how can I help y'all if I can't help myself?
You know who's the most like relatable, unrelatable person out there? I know that's, you know what I mean, a contradiction, but The Rock. You know who's one of the healthiest people out there? The Rock.
That was
coincidence?
I thought you were gonna say like Andrew Yang or some shit. I don't know if The Rock's. We can debate on that. I don't think The Rock's that healthy.
I think the steroids help. Yeah, I think the steroids.
Yeah, he uses steroids. I don't know if that's so healthy, but
I think hopefully he doesn't hear this and block us. Not that he would ever hear this.
Maybe one day.
But to get back on the topic of health, you know what I mean? Like, I did want to bring up the conversation of health because like it's so relevant to what's going on today. Like, I'm doing a lot of professional moves that relate to health in general and mental health specifically. You have personally in your own personal life taken control of your physical health. You know what I mean?
Which has helped mentally, but I will say though, like, also for people who are considering physical does help to an extent.
Like working out, you mean?
Working out does help to an extent. But you also, like, there's only such a like a point where the working out helps, because especially for me, I know like people are a lot more like, I guess they have a lot more like issues in their head than I do per se. So I know like even for me, the fact that I still feel like I need to go to therapy and I still need to, like, you know, talk about certain things. So I know if, like, you really are, like, diagnosed with depression or super severe anxiety, because I know I have anxiety, but I know it's not as bad as people who have crippling anxiety. So those things where it's like working out will help to an extent, but you also should seek the mental health aspect where, you know, maybe you're feeling good this day, but also, you know, go see a therapist, go talk to somebody. And also, I've also read, I don't know the stats, but I watched a documentary, Game Changers. It talks about, like, the bodybuilding.
Here we go again.
Okay, let me say it though. But basically, your diet is really important when it comes to your mental health. It really is. And studies have shown that plant-based diets, I'm not trying to, like, turn
Kayla
nobody.
wants everyone to be a vegan. That's the thing.
Right. I'm not trying to turn nobody.
Documentary, and now she looks down on anyone who eats beef.
No, that's not even true.
It's okay. It's okay. I still love you.
Anyway, I ate chicken for a little bit, but I stopped again. But anyway, no, eat what you want.
We just left Chick-fil-A before this. I'm lying.
I said don't say nothing about that for my brand. Wow. Anyway, I got a salad. But yeah, so now you threw me off. Oh, yeah, so the plant-based thing though. So, but yeah, studies have shown that eating more plants does help your mental health. It does. And also in terms of depression, like I've read so many, like, people's comments, like, because I watch a lot of, like, you know, vegan videos and stuff, and I read a lot of people's comments, like, where they'll say things like, I had severe depression and eating, like, changing up my diet where now I'm eating more plants, incorporating more whole foods in my diet, I don't feel as bad anymore. And, like, those are from people who, you know, are just normal people just telling people on the internet how they're feeling. But it's just so crazy though, because, and it makes sense, like, you are what you eat. So, like, if you do eat crappy all the time, you will feel crappy. Not only, like, I think people just think physically, like, oh, if I eat crappy, I'm gonna gain weight or whatever. It's not even about that. It's literally, like, your mental. Like, if you eat crappy all the time, you probably are a lot more irritable. You probably are a more, you know, tired, things like that. Like, I just have seen such a difference now when, like, I started working out, because, you know, you do have to eat a certain way when you work out to actually, like, it's 80% eating, 20% what you actually do. Shout out to my personal trainer, again, quote. But yeah, so I think it's just, like, it's a big deal, and there's levels to it, basically. It's levels
100%.
And you gotta, like, just make sure that you know everything when you're talking about mental health and physical health and all that stuff, because it kind of goes hand in hand, but not just what you, like, read about, basically, like the basic stuff. But yeah,
that goes to anything though, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't tell anyone to just spew out their knowledge that they get from Twitter, right? It's like, obviously do the research. Also, I wanted to ask you this, right? So it's like, it's a known thing that you have to do something in order to benefit your health or better your health, you know what I mean? Now how do I word this? How relevant do you think having conversations like this are? Because I feel like I'm a health science major, so and I've been studying health in general since I was 14 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, I think it's pretty relevant. If I just pulled up some stats real fast just to say how relevant it is.
Go ahead.
But according to ADAA.org, there's a few facts on mental health, like the biggest ones. So, like, generalized anxiety disorder, it affects 6.8 million adults, or 3.1% of the U.S. population. And only 43.2% are receiving treatment.
And that's just the numbers that they could account for, right?
Exactly.
Keep in mind, this country has 350 million people. It's hard to count all of them.
Exactly. Then you have panic disorder. 6 million adults have that, or 2.7% of the U.S. population. You have social anxiety disorder. 15 million adults suffer from that. And it just, the list goes on. It's with phobias, 19 million. So it's like, this clearly is an issue, and especially I think for Americans. Obviously, we're in America, we're Americans, so I can only speak from the country I'm in.
I mean, I got dual citizenship in Canada, so I'm gonna claim
American.
I'm gonna claim that.
Anyway, okay, but anyway, yes. So, like, I can only speak on America, and I know that it's crazy how big, I guess, and quote unquote successful America is, but how many issues we have with mental health, like. Okay, and
what do you think is the very top issue right now? Not based off the stats, just what do you think?
What do I think? From, like, what I see in my everyday life, depression, anxiety, and stress.
Those are the top three.
I do think stress is also it can lead to a disorder. So, like an over amount of stress, because over amount of stress also affects your physical health and your like insides. Like
we had a whole podcast about PTSD, which is a form of stress.
Yeah.
Post-traumatic stress disorder. You know what I mean? Also, I wanted to use maybe like this time or this conversation to segue into talking about how I'm trying to make an app to help stress, because workplace related stress is one of the biggest problems in this country. You know what I mean? I'll break that down even more. It's like people are stressed as fuck because of work. Why are they stressed because of work? One of two reasons. Either they feel overwhelmed by the workload, or they feel a lack of free time and a lack of personal time to relax, basically downtime.
Overworked,
underpaid. Yes, exactly. So it's like we see that every day with almost everyone we know.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you anyone right now who's not stressed about work or their professional career somehow. So it's like,
and that shit's scary.
It's a real issue, and it's really affecting people. Yeah.
Yeah, and even then, like when you think about like doctors and nurses and people who are in the health field, and they tell their people, hey, you know,
you should do this.
Eat your fruit and vegetables, get exercise, and you'll feel amazing. And then they're over here like crying their eyes out, popping pills, getting like 2 hours of sleep every week. Like, so it's like our own professionals are telling us things that they're not even doing in their real life.
You know, the highest, one of the highest professions that have like really high suicide rates, it's like doctors.
I'm not surprised.
Really high doctors.
I mean, doctors see some crazy shit. First of all, doctors see some crazy shit. Number one. Number two, when you're working in a place where, you know, miracles can happen and things like that, but it can be depressing. And especially if you're you know, doctor, like to be a doctor, it's like what, 11 years of school. So you're in school for over 20 years of your life. You finally get out, that's all you know, and like you worked so hard, you had to sacrifice probably maybe having a family if you wanted one, maybe moving into that place you've always wanted to because you
$300,000 in school debt now.
Exactly. And I mean, you could probably pay it off because doctors, you know, probably make bank. But it's just the thing of like, you never had time to focus on yourself or your mental health because you had 11 years of school that you had to go through. That's just college.
We see that so much. I'm gonna talk about one of my coworkers. I'm not gonna say the name, obviously, but right now he is starting a nursing program, a really high-level nursing program. Right? He still works at the plasma center. He's a phlebotomist and a processing tech, so he works in the lab. But he's doing these crazy shifts, and when you do graduate programs like that, it's so hard to work a full-time job because you have to study like 17 hours a day, 13 hours a day, and it's stressing him out because he can't see his family, he can't see his friends, he can't do anything. All he has to do is study, work, eat, and sleep. Humans aren't supposed to live like that mentally. I've had to talk to Pedro, because Pedro and me think about things in a similar way, where we can get in like a robot mode, right? Where we're just like on go. It's like tunnel vision. Like, this is the goal, we're gonna get it done. No sleep, no eat, no social life, get it done. It's like humans aren't robots, and we're not supposed to live like that. At the end of the day, it's like if we were supposed to live like that, we would know. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like people forget we're animals, and you see animals have to take care of their health too. You know what I mean? Like,
and also the thing is too, like, I think people forget that we're just, I mean, however you believe, I believe this body is not, it's mine to an extent, but like, when your heart is failing, you can't just tell your heart, hey, stop, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when you're constantly like going, okay, you may feel, okay, maybe you have this project, maybe you have this amount of money, but if your physical and your mental health aren't up to par, you're not gonna give your 100%, which I was telling you before. Like, if you always are going, you know, won't give 100%. And then it's like, well, I'm always like quality over quantity, like 100%. And it's like, if you can't meet up to your own expectations, and you constantly like, you know, failing yourself, you gotta sit back and be like, okay, what is the reason? And I'm sorry, I'm the type of person where I would rather have my like mental health, I want to have my little routine, go a little yoga in, than always be constantly going, because I'm the type of person where I do have to take a second by myself to be with myself, because sometimes like the socializing always doing projects, it gets a lot, and I get mentally tired. I can feel my brain like, all right, bitch, we need to rest. Yeah. So like I have to, have that time for myself, which I feel like some people like you or Pedro like don't like see it like that. Because it's like like we gotta boom until you crash and then it's
burn out.
Bad.
I mean, take a look at me personally a couple years ago, right? Mm-hmm. You saw the cycle. You came into my life right when I was like ending that cycle, and I know I'm blessed, right? Because I have people like you. I have like mentoring figures like Pedro or like certain other friends who could look at me genuinely, honestly, and respectfully and say, look, you need to chill the fuck out. Mm-hmm. You're 18 years old. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, you need to chill out. There's no need to, even now, I'm 20 years old, I'm doing a lot of things, you know what I mean? And it's like, without having people like you to be like, take a break, you're okay. Like, it's not going to go anywhere. Well, you can take a night off. That's important.
Yeah. And I think also, and this could be a whole other podcast that I really would love to have a topic on, but just like glorifying like the hustle culture, like that's a whole other topic, but it's true.
Especially in America.
Especially like now people are flexing their hustle, flexing. What are you doing?
I slept 3 seconds. I worked the other rest of the day. Yeah. It's like that.
Exactly. And it's like it's over glorified to the point where like you have, say, like just a normal college student who's just trying to get by, they think that they're not doing enough because they see somebody on Instagram who's like making $1 million at 20, and you're like, fuck, what am I doing wrong?
Exactly.
And it's like you're not doing anything wrong. One, everybody's path is different. 1, 2, like you can grind so much, but again, like it's a balance, and your body will feel when it's in balance, and that's when there's issues, especially when you're young and you keep doing it for years. By the time you're 40, your body's actually 85 because you haven't given it love like at all, mentally, physically, however you want to be, but like
the self-care aspect is important to all types of help.
Exactly.
I think that's like one of the biggest takeaways from this episode.
Yeah, and also like just people personally in my life, like my mom, she's been on her workout journey for maybe like 4 years now.
Let's talk about that.
And well, she like always, sorry mom if you're listening, but I'm gonna expose you for a second. But she would always complain about like her weight and stuff like that, and it would annoy me because I don't care like what you do with your body, like as long you're obviously my mom, right? So I want you to live as long as you can. But she wasn't like super overweight or anything. She had 2 kids. Like I'm not over here like in front of her. Yeah. But it's like, okay, if you're complaining so much, do something. That was my thing, right? But I didn't know all of like her mental health challenges. I don't expose her like that. But we have some mental health issues in our family that just has from generations. It goes back from, I think, just big black, you know what I'm saying, like that type of thing. And I'm talking about mental health and kind of like getting older and then, not understanding what's going on. So you kind of have to dissect that. So I think for a long time that was kind of in the back of her head, like I can't work out because of X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Her brain telling her she can't. But she finally got to a point where she started, and now she's done it for like 4 years, and like she's strong as shit. Like she didn't jab me up before, but now she really jab me up, like, or jab any, person on the street. So, but yeah, I think like that's, I'm so proud of her though, because she has constantly been doing that. And, like before I started,
for her.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Good job. But before that, I just think that it's just cool to see somebody personally in my life who's, doing something physical because it inspires me. Okay. But yeah.
Do you want to plug anything else before we wrap?
Yeah, I think overall I would say, and the Bad Podcast merch, if you want to buy some, go to kennybhawkins.com
/shop.
Go to the Lychee, is it a website?
Oh, yeah. You can go to kennybhawkins.com /Lychee. Yeah. Complete that survey on mental health. It takes 2 seconds, okay?
It's relatable to this.
It's 100% relatable. Yeah. That survey will take no time at all, and it's going to a good cause to help us develop an app to solve mental health. Not just mental health, because that's really broad, but specifically stress.
Yeah. And also I would say, too, go out and vote. Voting for like the primaries this is random, but it does connect though, because when talking about mental health and physical, whoever's the president and whoever is taking over can affect that too. So primaries are coming up. If you can vote, definitely go out and vote, because it's a big deal. It's happening in March, because this will affect your personal life with mental health, physical, all of that. So
I want to thank all the people listening and all the people who have always listened, and that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thanks, guys.